Welcome to the prediction series for Super Mario Galaxy 3. This game should be a thing, and it's something that I've been craving for quite a while now. Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2010, so as of this date, it's been about 6 years since we've seen the last Mario Galaxy game. And I can't really count Mario 3D World, seeing as you basically just go to the end of the flagpole. But today, let's discuss Galaxies. One of the great wonders of the Mario Galaxy franchise is the huge span of galaxies that you can wander around in. Today, we'll cover galaxies that could be used in this game. So first we have the opposite galaxy. Now, I haven't really been able to imagine what the environment should look like since there's so many possibilities for this kind of world, but let's just as an example pretend this is a desert-themed galaxy. So let's say as an example you saw a Goomba. If you ran into him, instead of getting hurt, you would get star bits from this instead. Or as an alternate idea, maybe you actually befriend the Goombas or all the enemies and you use them as a team. Now, how awesome would it be if there was a star where basically you had to befriend as many enemies as possible and you use that to defeat Peach? Again, opposite galaxy, it wouldn't be an actual boss, it would be Peach. Or maybe it could work like this. Imagine that there's a bunch of switches all over the place. Hitting these switches will reverse whether the enemies will hurt you or whether they won't hurt you. So in essence, you kind of control the oppositeness in the galaxy itself. So let's now imagine that this galaxy is water themed now. Imagine if instead of going into the water and drowning, that's actually how you catch your breath, and if you're running around in the air or on the land or whatever, you're actually losing your breath. There's really a lot of different routes that could be taken here, and I'd love to hear some of your ideas if an opposite galaxy were to exist. Alright guys, next we have Bowser's Body Galaxy. That's right, the scenario is that Bowser eats us and the galaxy itself is actually inside his body. I mean, just think about how huge they make Bowser in the Galaxy games. It kinda makes sense that he would attempt this at some point or another. I mean, our heroes have been in Bowser's body in the Mario and Luigi's franchise, so why can't this happen in the core games? Now, since you are inside his body, it wouldn't really make sense that this would be a traditional Bowser Galaxy. Obviously, you wouldn't fight him at the end. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a star where basically you play like your white blood cells and you have to kill off viruses? Or maybe vice versa, you're actually trying to get Bowser sick, so that way it's easier for you to leave his body. Maybe there could be a star where you go inside Bowser's brain and you have to clear out some sort of brain cells. Now, since brains are so complex, it would be really cool to play this level because it could be like this giant maze that you have to complete. Maybe sections of his brain could be filtered into certain categories. As an example, there could be a Peach section of the brain where it's just a bunch of pictures of Princess Peach everywhere, the whole area is just filled in pink, and maybe you even have to fight off some small Marios. I really could go on for quite a while, but I just want to hear your ideas, so again, please feel free to leave all of your galaxy ideas in the comments. Anyway, let's move on. Our next idea is the Season Galaxy. This galaxy could be like a forest type of world, but it's constantly changing seasons. Now, I could see a star where you have to collect the 100 purple coins like you do in the Mario Galaxy games, but this time, you can only access certain coins during certain seasons. So say maybe there's a lake in this world with purple coins inside of it. So to get these coins, it'd have to be summertime, so you'd have to get them only during then. But if you wait too long and you wait till it's wintertime, then the lake will just freeze over, and if you're underneath, well, you're trapped and you're gonna die. Now, instead of dying, maybe there could be like some underwater caverns that open up during the winter, and there's some like caves and stuff with a bunch of coins and other goodies that you can find too. I'd love to see a race with Koopa the Quick where you have to go from one side of the galaxy to the other, and since the seasons are constantly changing, you have to adapt to the way you travel. So say it becomes wintertime, the snow really starts to pack in and it makes you move really slowly, so you have to start jump diving across, or maybe you can find a Koopa shell along the way, and that helps you go faster through the snow. What I'd really love to see from this galaxy is just options. Since there's 4 seasons, there should be at least 4 options per star that you can mix and blend together while trying to complete the stars. Now, I know a lot of you want Mario Sunshine back and all, and I really do too, but I think our best option that we'll probably ever get is to see some sort of flood galaxy where we get to use the flood pack once again. Now, I'm sure the galaxy itself would be beach themed, I mean, that seems pretty obvious, and for all the stars, it should be required that you use the flood pack in either using one of the nozzles or a combination of all 3. Now, to throw in some nice nostalgia, maybe there's this area of the world where there's just like a bunch of wooden huts for you to explore, and inside one of them is P. Piranha. And there would of course have to be a secret course kind of mission thrown in with the classic secret course music from Mario Sunshine. Now, I doubt this would happen, but imagine if they created a brand new nozzle for Flood to use. Maybe it could be more focused on shooting water in bursts. bursts. Now what I mean is, what if there was a nozzle that shot spherical bursts of water that could be used to hit certain targets, to open up switches or whatever, or maybe it could just be an alternate way to attack enemies and bosses. Here's a pretty radical idea. I call this the time travel galaxy. Now look, I know my names suck for these galaxies, but that's beyond the point. The idea behind this is that for each star, you go into a different time period of Mario's history. So as an example, let's say for one of the stars, you're brought to the American Super Mario Bros. 2 world. Now maybe for that star you have to fight off Birdo or Wart or something like that. In your whole environment, all the enemies, all the music, and I just mean everything, needs to be themed around that game. Now I think a 3D Phanto could be a fun little challenge. And just imagine 3D Birdo having to pick up the eggs and then, grab them from underneath and throw them back at her. That could be a whole brand new different dynamic type of play. So now just imagine stars that are based on Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, and so on. Now wouldn't it be awesome if, say, all the Mario World power-ups were now in 3D and also all the enemies were 3D? I mean, just imagine how cool it would be to play everything in this brand new perspective. Now maybe as one of the final stars in this galaxy, there's a 100 coin challenge, and basically you go through all of the world using portals and you have to find all of the coins within each of the worlds. I mean, imagine getting the freaking P-Wing from Mario World and then taking that into Mario Bros. 3 to get a hard to reach coin instead of using the Tanuki suit. Just for the heck of it. Now look, this is something that I doubt will happen, but again, just imagine the possibilities here. Now most Mario titles have their standard desert themes, but what if there was one that was more solely focused on the Wild West? Wild West Galaxy could be centered around an old western town. There's so much potential here for them to create brand new enemies. Maybe there could be one that rolls around like tumbleweeds. Now maybe these enemies won't necessarily hurt you, but touching them will slow you down. Now I think for a star, it'd be really fun racing somebody. I don't know exactly who it would be, something maybe brand new. But instead of using like a horse to race them, you just use Yoshi. Now just imagine that this opponent is way faster than you. Just running across the path isn't working out. So maybe you have to use Yoshi's jumping and tongue abilities. So perhaps you have to jump over some buildings to get ahead, or use Yoshi's tongue to whip yourself to electric wires, and then allow yourself to get ahead that way. Now imagining an 8 red coin challenge in this galaxy would be really cool. Now if some of the houses were just like really filled up and detailed and really complicated, there could be a lot of places to hide red coins, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Let's imagine a galaxy called Starbit Cavern Galaxy, and it's basically based around caverns. I know we've seen this same sort of theme in the past Galaxy games, but I have a few new ideas. What if these caverns were much more colorful this time around? Maybe Mario has to bring some sort of light power up to the caves, and putting them across the cave's rocks will allow them to glisten all sorts of different colors. Sections of the cave could all have different colored rocks, and this could be used to create some brand new type of puzzle stars. Also, if a Metal Mario power-up were to return, this should definitely be used for this galaxy. Perhaps Metal Mario could have some sort of metallic pull for some select rocks, and this could be used to access hidden areas or maybe even hidden red coins, something like that. I'd also like this galaxy to just not have any water. It seems like most cave type of galaxies have some water in them, but it just doesn't seem necessary. I mean, most people don't like water levels to begin with. Now, what if there was a Circus Galaxy? Now, I know I brought up the idea of a Circus world in previous prediction videos, but we still haven't really seen that implemented in any Mario games, aside from maybe a couple levels in Super Mario 3D World, but let's be honest, that's not really a true open world 3D Mario game. How cool would it be if there was a star where you're trapped inside a huge mirror house? I think it would just be hilarious seeing Mario bonking all over the place trying to find his way to go, and the mirrors are just making his body look all distorted. Let's be real, some serious memes could be made just from this galaxy. I also think that there should be a star where one of the amusement park rides comes to life and you have to defeat whatever it is. Maybe if this thing was something really tall, like a Ferris wheel, you have to access a power-up that allows you to not only fly, but you can also throw either fireballs or ice balls too. And maybe that's the thing. You have to use ice balls to freeze the ride in place, and then you have to knock it over to take damage on it. I wish I could think of more ideas for this one, but I just can't. Again, it's up to you guys to use your minds, because I know you've got them. Just imagine how sick it would be if we had a galaxy based off of dinosaurs. This would of course be a perfect excuse to use Yoshi. There could be a star where you basically just have to climb up a volcano. As you're trying to climb up, there's some stumps that can help you get up there faster, as well as enemies that are going to try to knock you to the bottom. And the higher you get up, these stumps just get smaller and smaller. It could get to the point where you basically have to use a Yoshi fruit to allow yourself to run up the volcano really quickly. Then when you get to the top, up, Yoshi and Mario fly into the air and then take a dive down into the volcano. You have to avoid lava and rocks as you dive deeper and deeper in. The goal would be to simply land on the star. I do think it would be a little unfair if you miss the star and you have to start all over, but I think maybe instead there could be like a small little platform that you can land on and you'll get stunned for a couple seconds from the fall. So that will give you another chance, of course, to try to get the star, but when you fall and land on this small little platform, lava and rocks are like rushing in, so you'll only have maybe a second or two to have a second chance of grabbing the star. Now, what if there was a star where you had to fight off a T-Rex? Wouldn't it cool if you had to fling from tree branches to try to get higher and higher, and when you're in the air trying to hit him, you gotta use fireballs to hit him, or maybe you just have to jump on his head to do damage? Like, wouldn't that be the coolest thing ever? There could also be a star where you have to play really stealthily, and you have to avoid all sorts of dinosaurs to get your star. Maybe that star in particular could be on top of some mountain or temple or something like that. Now, what if there was a galaxy that was based off of paper? I know what you're thinking, Paper Mario, Super Paper Mario. Just hold that thought. For this world, it mainly plays in a 3D landscape, but you can't really get any stars unless you access the special power-up that we'll call the Paper Flower. Using this would turn the world flat and allows you to see platforms that you normally couldn't access. I think this power-up should be kind of a limited time thing, and it kinda needs to be if you think about it. There's a lot of potential for really great mechanics to be added here. Perhaps for the red coin star. 4 of the coins are in 3D, while the other 4 are in 2D. And yes, I think a big house galaxy would be pretty cool. You're just in a big house and that's it. So that's pretty much all the ideas that I have. Some of these ideas were yours too, so thank you very much for the help. If you have any other ones for Galaxies, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you want, and hop on the Bandy wagon and follow my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the upcoming parts.